What up, everybody? Last month I made a video on the possibility that Lulu is actually Ghost's father. And after episode 307, I wanted to follow up that video with some more potential clues that could be pointing to Lou being Ghost's father. At the end of the episode, after Lou smoked Chantel, Scrappy's mother, when Lou was walking back to the car, and when they were driving off, OG Kanan went on to talk about not believing in ghosts. Just a subtle shot, another way to connect Lou and Ghost. But more importantly, there's another clue that's been in front of our faces for half of this third season. And we saw it again at the end of the episode, as Lou looked back up at Chantel's house, only to see Scrappy looking out the window. And this is at least the third time now that I can remember off the top of my head that Lou has hallucinated this season. What other power character used to hallucinate on a regular basis? That would be none other than Ghost, James St. Patrick himself. And it is definitely not normal at all for people to go around hallucinating. That has to be some kind of mental health issue that runs in the family, because Tariq also hallucinated and saw Kanan right before he shot Ghost. And if I were to guess, A-Train, Lou's father, probably also used to hallucinate like that. So most likely the hallucinations run in the family. Also, we know that both Ghost and Lou are alcoholics, and alcoholism, not being able to be a social drinker, runs in families as well. Then you add the fact that it was said in Power that Ghost had a drunk for a daddy. That would also identify as Lou. And by this point, Lou is getting so drunk that he's blacking out. So this alcohol demon will probably stick with Lou until he goes. Then you add the fact that it was said that Ghost's father was a bar owner. He owned a bar in Queens, which is the location that Ghost bought from Uncle Gabe that was supposed to be used to be the Queen's Child Project. But it was also said in Power Season 1 that before Ghost's father owned that bar, he also used to own a nightclub in Manhattan, but he lost it. And Club Vu is also currently located in none other than Manhattan. So there's a good chance that because of his drinking problem and not letting Rock and Marvin get involved to sell drugs out of the place, that Lou will lose this place and again go back begging Rock for a handout, who will give him a spot in the building that she bought in Queens to be his bar, which eventually becomes the Queen's Child Project location. Then to double down even more, it was said that Ghost's father was killed for being a snitch. And when I made the first video on this topic last month, a lot of people said that Lou could never be Ghost's father because Lou ain't no snitch. But these last couple of episodes have proved that Lou's character is definitely capable of snitching, especially when he is under the influence. Then keep in mind that in Power, even though it was never acknowledged that Ghost and Kanan were related, Sean called Ghost Uncle G. This could also be a clue that Kanan and Ghost were indeed actually cousins. But then I also consider the fact that Ghost's father didn't want him in the game and always used to preach that life only leads to either death or prison. This is also the same mentality that Lulu is currently adapting. And because if Lou was to find out that he has a son, whatever age Ghost would be when his mother drops him off to Lou and runs off. And let me pause for a minute and address this first before I move on. Last video, people kept saying that Ghost was too close to age to Kanan to be Lou's son. But I wasn't saying that Lou has a newborn baby or anything like that. I was saying that Lou has a teenage son that he didn't know anything about. And the mother drops him off to Lou and then runs off. Getting me back to the fact that Lou wouldn't want his son in the game. So because of that, when he finds out that he has a son, there is also a good chance that Lou will try to keep James away from his family because he doesn't want the bad influences of drug dealing in his family to rub off on James. So because of that, Marvin might be the only relative that Lou would even introduce to James, trusting that Marvin would keep this secret for him and would also help look out for his son. That would also explain why Ghost went to live with Tommy after his father died instead of staying with his family, because he didn't really know them like that. And another possible clue from episode 6 is when Marvin messed up at Juke's performance and went to talk to Lou about it. Lou told him he doesn't know anything about raising a kid. Possibly another clue that Lou has a kid coming to him that he won't know the first thing about raising. This would also, of course, mean that Uncle Gabe is in fact Uncle Marvin. And since the first time I made a video asking this same question, even more evidence has been shown that if Marvin is going to make it to the power timeline alive and free, that he may have to change his identity. Marvin is currently the center of a federal investigation, putting him at the top of the food chain of Rock's operation that the Italians gunned down at the end of season 2. Then you mix that with the fact that Marvin is responsible for killing a mafia boss, Sal Baselli, and he definitely has good reason to change his identity. And a couple things that I wanted to also clear up before I wrap this video up is if Ghost had already been raised by his mother, or possibly his grandmother on his mother's side, which would make more sense that his mother abandoned him and he lived with his grandmother for a while. Either way it would work out. That would be why Ghost would have the last name St. Patrick instead of Thomas, because he had already taken on his mother's last name at the hospital when he was born. And the final thing that I wanted to add is that there are rumors that Ghost's father's name was Curtis, but that was never confirmed on the show, but I think it was said by Courtney Kipp in an interview. But just keep in mind that if Lou is in fact Ghost's father, there is no way that Courtney would say that Ghost's father's name was Lou and spoil that storyline. And there you have it. Is Lulu Ghost's father? Leave your thoughts, theories, and predictions in the comments.